Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unscripted for another video. In today's video, we are breaking down some of the results and potential falling out from day 4 of the LA Thieves home series. And as always, we are doing things off the script. Before I hop into this video, don't forget to leave a like down below if you enjoy. Leave a comment as well with your thoughts on what we talk about today. And subscribe to the channel as well if you enjoy the video and want to see more videos like this one from me in the future. I appreciate all of that. It does mean a lot to me as we inch ever so closer to 100 subscribers. So definitely thank you all for that. I really do appreciate it. It has meant a lot to me as I see this channel grow. So thank you. And let's hop right in. So kicking the day off, we had the Paris Legion versus Seattle Surge. Nothing really to worry about there. Paris won 3-1. That's about what I expected. I picked them to win. Picked them 3-2, but they won. That's really what matters. They will be now the 5 seed, well, in their group, and the Seattle will be the 6 seed. We will see the bracket for the major here soon. But the biggest match of the day in terms of seeding probably was New York versus Ultra. It was pretty much a battle for the 1 seed in Group B. The winner of this match was going to be the 1 seed, and the loser was going to be the 2 seed. And it also decided the 3 seed as well between Florida and Dallas. And unfortunately for New York, it did not go their way. They came out, they got 3-0'd in this one. It wasn't a blowout, but it really wasn't all that competitive either. Like the hard point on Checkmate was kind of close. The Express Search was 6-3, I think, or 6-4. And then the Control, I think, was 3-1. So it wasn't super close, not totally blowout either. Like we're going to see here in a minute, there was a blowout today. But you see the stats on screen. Big series for Toronto's AR duo. Insight and Cammy played really well. Insight had a huge event. He played really well in Toronto's previous series, this event against LAG as well. He had a really good event. But Cammy, you know, he's looking like one of the best in the world like he has been for most of the season. Kleenex played well as well. Bance, not quite, but didn't really matter because his teammates were doing so well. And then on the flip side, not a good series from the New York boys. Clayster, he really struggled. I mean, he was definitely had a tough matchup against Insight. Cammy, one of the top AR duos in the league. I'd say probably number 2 off the top of my head, just behind FaZe. But still, not Clayster's best series at all. Asim played well, but wasn't enough. They lost 3-0. They will be now the 2 seed in Group B, and Toronto will be the 1 seed, as again we will see here at the end of the video. But the bigger takeaway from this for New York is it's not the result. There's a much bigger storyline here, and it is Asim's visa issues. We still don't have an update. He says, tough showing from the team today, GG's to Toronto. Still not sure if I'll be able to make the major. Should have an update these next couple days. This, of course, is the big storyline, and honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I don't think it's going to be good news for them. I feel like it's been, 2 weeks now since we've had this problem come up. If nothing changed in the past 2 weeks, what's going to change in the next 3 days? He has to be in Texas by Thursday. It is Sunday night. We have no update. So, possible? Yes. Do I hope he gets there? Yes. But do I expect him to get there? No. And I have no idea what New York's going to do otherwise. I don't know if they bring in Diamond Khan, who is their sub, and then put either him on an SMG or Mac on an SMG. Can he even get to the U.S.? He is in Canada as well. I don't know if he has his visa straightened out. Clayster says over here on Twitter, who's the hungriest and nastiest AM sub that wants to potentially play for us at the major? Got turned down by some top AM subs already. Can't be someone under a CDL contract. So they're looking. I mean, they're not guaranteeing. He says potentially play for us at the major, so he's saying it's not a guarantee. But they're also looking, so that makes me think Diamond Con probably not an option because otherwise they would already have their backup plan in case Asim couldn't make it. So I would say they don't know what they're going to do. He goes on to say down here, make sure you can see it, I respect the dedication of some of the top AMs, but like this is your shot to get into the league and get paid. You're coming into a good team with a good system and a good place. I don't get giving up the opportunity. So yeah, he's like, he understands it's not just an easy, or there's more to consider than just playing in the pro league, but also he's saying like this is a really good shot. You could potentially like help a team get top 3, top 4, top 2, whatever at the major. Like this is a really good chance. Why do you want to pass up on this one? I thought this was also very interesting. It was since deleted, but this Kimmy C19 is actually Decimate's mom, as you see there, and she replied to his original tweet and tagged Decimate, and Clayster said he said no. So another potential, in my opinion, another bad look for Decimate. He seems content in playing very well on challengers and not worrying about the league. I get why he didn't want to play in Seattle. It just wasn't good for his stock, whatever. I think he kind of handled it poorly, but regardless, I see the logic behind it. But I don't see the logic here. How could this possibly be bad for your stock? I don't think anybody expects you to come into a new team in 3 days and absolutely fry. However, you do come in and you do contribute and play well and help them place well at the major. That can't possibly be bad for your stock. It might not raise it a bunch because it's just sort of like you're joining a really good team, but it can't be bad for it either. So I don't know why you turn this down. Clayster does give some knowledge to what could have been the reason for it, though. He says, also, after discussing with some people who said no, I completely understand their reasoning. Asim has the potential to still arrive, and that's a dice roll that some people don't want to take, as they wouldn't be able to play in the AM Cup if they signed with us, and then Asim ended up showing up. So basically, if they sign the contract now, that makes them a pro player. That disqualifies them for competing in amateur events in the future. Then if they sign the contract today and Asim shows up by Thursday, then they can't play in amateurs, and they're also not playing in the pro league. So I get what he's saying, but at the same time, like, for my opinion, it's not looking good for Asim. And even if it is looking good for Asim, I don't know. I think it shows dedication. I think it shows teams in the league a willingness that you are willing to drop everything and join them and play for them. But I don't know. Like, I don't know everything. I don't know who the other options were beyond Decimate. I would think John's probably being considered. I would think Saints has to be being considered. There are plenty of talented SMGs in the amateur scene, so I'm sure someone will be willing to do it. I mean, we'll see if it ends up being that way or not, but I would think somebody has to jump at the opportunity. How can you pass this up? And I think especially if we get to like Monday, Tuesday, and there's still no Asim, first, I think New York has to practice with somebody. They can't just go in with no practice, but also it doesn't look good for them. I don't know. It's hard to say. It can go either way, basically, and I just hope they get things straightened out and Asim is able to get there, but he might not be able to. I kind of lost my train of thought there. I forget where I was going with that, but whatever. Hopefully they get it straightened out, and we will just have to see. I don't know. I think if I remember what I was going to say. I think it gets to the point where it's Tuesday and Asim can't be signed. That maybe would tell these amateurs who are worried about risking exactly what Clay's saying. Maybe they'd realize, okay, Asim's not going to make it. Let me sign this contract. So that's kind of what I think would happen. But we'll have to wait and see. Like I was saying, hopefully they just get it straightened out, no problems. But that's where we stand right for now. That's where we stand. And then we moved on to the other big match of the day, OpTic versus LA Thieves, to decide the winner's bracket spot in Group A. We had Minnesota and FaZe locked up, and then we had one more on the line. It could have been LA or OpTic. I don't know if Paris could have made it or not, but it didn't matter because OpTic came out, they played well, and they were able to, basically, if OpTic won a map, they were guaranteed winner's bracket. Whether it would have been the 3 seed if they lost, but either way, if they had to win one map, they did. They won the first hard point, and they were guaranteed winner's bracket. Then they lost the search narrowly on standoff. They came out, and the control was insane. They dominated control so bad. Look at the slaying in this. 17 plus 29 over 3 rounds. This game took less than 5 minutes of game time as a control. That is insane. This might be one of the most dominant maps across any mode all season long. The only other one that comes close was probably the raid hardpoint between the Thieves. I think it was the Thieves and Toronto. That was like 250 to like, what, 19 or something. So I see that argument there, but this one has got to be up there. Slasher, 3 and 13, Hook 4 and 14. They combined 7 and 27 in one map of control. Nobody on LA Thieves broke 2,000 damage. Scump with a 3.25. 3 members of OpTic over a 2. Dashy a 1.71. I mean, it was just so fast. 3-0, obviously. OpTic captured they played one offensive round and captured their points like in a minute. It was just insane. Absolutely smoked them. And they were able to come out and they were able to close it out on the hard point on Moscow. They were up at 1.100 to 0. So again, it was not a good start for LA. And yeah, it ended how you would expect. They were not going to be able to come back from that. They outslayed LA by 85 kills over the series that OpTic. They played really well. Scump, he had a huge series. I mean, all of them did. Look at the slaying numbers. You can't really single out anybody for playing well because they all did. They all played great. On the LA side, Slasher and TJ, not a good series from them. I think we're to the point where TJ, I think he's getting the slack treatment and the loony treatment where he doesn't slay well, but he does the dirty work or he makes the right play. But at some point, making the right play is also getting kills. He can't do that right now. He's like a 0.7 KD since he's been back in the lineup. He's just not good enough, I don't think. I don't care how smart you are or how many right plays you make. If you can't get kills, you're not that valuable. Right now, I don't see the value in TJ, but I'm sure they will stick with him at least through the LAN and see how they do there. But if this is any sign of things to come, it is not looking good for the LA Thieves. This was an ugly series for them. Like I said, they were able to barely take the search, and they got dominated pretty much in the respawns. So this is what the bracket looks like, though, for the Stage 4 Major. So New York will play Minnesota. That's the 2 seed versus the 3. Obviously, Minnesota's the 3 seed from Group A. New York, the 2 seed from Group B. OpTic versus Empire. Potential juicy storylines there with the whole Formal versus Crim6 beef. And Empire coming off a hot win over Florida, which they really, really needed. That helped them get into the winner's bracket, and then Ultra's win over New York secured it for them. So they're probably lucky to be there, according to some people, because they really haven't been that good lately, but that's a good chance to make a statement against OpTic and prove they do belong. We'll see how it goes. They do have to get better, though. Their AR duo has not been the best. Vivid has been pretty inconsistent. Shotzi's been playing really well for them, but beyond that, they have not probably been good enough to make a real run at this. But we'll see. They can definitely prove us wrong. And then the losers bracket, LA Thieves versus Los Angeles Guerrillas to kick us off on day 1, and London versus Seattle. So these 4 matches on the left side, I don't know if you can see my mouse, you probably can't. The 2 winners bracket matches and 2 losers bracket round 1 matches will be on the first day. And then from there, we'll just keep progressing on. I don't know. I think if I had to pick one losers bracket team to make a run, it's got to be Florida, right? I think they make the most sense to make a run. I'm also looking at Seattle, though. I think Seattle could at least make a push for top 8, which is not saying a whole lot, but for them, it's an improvement. they can beat London, they can beat Paris. I think that's fair to say, especially London, their players not having a ton of LAN experience. Like you think of Paul X, who's their best player, no LAN experience. Afro, no LAN experience. Alex plays well on LAN, but we'll have to see how it goes. Seattle definitely has more LAN experience than London in that series, so I'm looking at Seattle for a top 8 run maybe, but we'll see how it goes. I think there's a lot of good matchups to be made here, and we will just have to see how it progresses. I think Toronto and FaZe, though, the clear-cut favorites. I mean, that's obvious. They're the best 2 teams in the league, and I think we're going to see them in the winners final, probably the grand final as well. Until somebody proves us wrong, that's probably the way it's going to go. We'll see, though. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you are, too. That's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like down below. Leave a comment as well with your thoughts on the video, and subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more videos from me in the future. I appreciate all that. It means a lot to me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you had a good day today, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.